Hello, and welcome to Radiant Spirit. This is a podcast about self-love and authenticity. I am Jennifer Gibbons, and today I am happy to say I am joined by Caitlin Naramore. That was a little taste of her track For Eternity off of her new release EP, Destiny, now streaming on Spotify and Apple, I believe. Is that correct, Caitlin?
That is correct.
Wonderful.
It's
Thank
actually
you.
across many streams, ones I've never even heard of, but since those are the primary, we'll go with that.
Great, great. Soon to be everywhere. I love
Soon to
it.
be everywhere.
Yes. Yes.
Nations wide.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm loving this desert behind you. And it really I can tell that this video, the Mermaid Love Song part of your release was clearly filmed somewhere where you're at.
Correct.
Yeah,
Tucson, Arizona. Yeah.
wonderful. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
The mermaid in the desert.
Yes.
Go figure.
It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
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 Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Now, how long have you had this musical amazingness in the works?
My God. You know, it goes so far back. What's coming to mind right now, I remember being in school choir in like middle school, right? Fort Bragg. I grew up near where you are, on the north coast of California, small school, small town. And I thought I had a terrible voice. I really did. I really did not, I don't know. I thought poorly. I don't think I got particular attention from the, teacher or whatever, the conductor, whatever you call a chorus person. So, you know, and yet music was so part of my upbringing. My dad took us to concerts and we always had my brother and my dad are like audiophiles, and we would always have we were the first ones to have a CD player and the best stereo equipment, and we just always had music streaming through our home of wide variety. So music was always part of me, and somewhere, say maybe in my late teens, early 20s, the seed was, that's when I remember it really being inside of me. I want to sing. I know I have music inside of me and I want to sing. And I started with when I lived in Sausalito, California, and I was a sailor at the time.
Oh,
And
so
I put up
cool.
a Craigslist ad that said something like diva looking for a band. And I didn't even sing, but the desire was there. And I remember getting some responses and nothing I don't know, nothing. Either I wasn't bold enough to follow through on the responses that came, or I was kind of I don't even know where to go with that. So it sort of sat. It was sort of just not something I did anything about. And then I fell in love with a man I ended up marrying for a time, beautiful Russian free spirit, he was still a dear friend of mine, and he sang and played guitar. Forgot to mention my dad sang and played guitar too. We grew up with him singing and playing guitar to us, an acoustic guitar. So then I fell in love with this man. He'd sing Russian songs, and he was always the life of the party and just this wonderful, wild, free spirit. And he just had zero inhibitions whatsoever, where I think I was still fairly reserved and shy. And so I witnessed him and started to sing with him and around him. And I had a moment in the Northern California redwoods on a misty day, kind of like this that we're having today. And I was out in the woods with him and I sang to him. And it was the singular moment that I heard my voice. I heard it unfiltered. I heard it whatever, because I always feel I had this, probably the film of judgment almost over my own voice that prevented me from my voice from actually coming through weirdly, right?
I can
In
see
that moment, it was
clearly.
a pure spring. It just was poured out of me. And obviously I was completely in love with this man. So that love drew it out. And I remember his face, he was like, oh, we both were kind of like, whoa, like, kind of, there she is, this pure maiden voice coming through, the misty forest. And it was, a moment I'll never forget. And then from there on, I kept, I'd sing at parties, and like I learned these Russian songs with him, and we'd sing these duets, and it was so fun. And then I started learning, well, I sing in like 17 languages. So I started learning all these songs in all these languages. I have a songbook with them all written out. And then within that time period, I also started writing my own songs. And the Mermaid Love song that I made the video is actually from way back when. And it was it was a song like the one I was most comfortable with, because I play very rudimentary guitar, and I would sing it sometimes at parties and in gatherings with friends. And it was kind of my one-hit wonder up until now. And there's other, I sang in choirs, Bulgarian women's choir. I was part of a band in Hawaii for a minute that was an electronic global band called Triad, and I sang and wrote some lyrics for them. But it was kind of always, and it still is. I mean, to be honest, weird that it's kind of almost like a hobby, or it's not the right word for it, but not, it was, there are people who are just musicians, right? And it is clearly their path. My path has been kind of much more multifaceted, and music as this part of it that's come with me.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
that's so much part of my spirit. And with all of this shared, I always wanted to write my own music, and I always felt very stuck because I'm not a musician and I didn't have a band aside from that Triad moment. But like, I had these songs inside of me. And, I have all these voice memo recordings of all these little snippets of songs that come to me throughout, like, we're talking like nearly 20 years now, years upon years. And so some of the songs on Destiny are from these little, like, Overland was from this little, I wrote part of that song, years ago. And so I have these sort of imprints of songs and many more that are still waiting in the wings.
I
So
bet.
finally, I was hemming and hawing, whining, if I dare say, like, meh, oh, why hasn't it happened? Oh, no, 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 to my now partner, Alok. And he, he has an ability to bring some good, tough love through sometimes.
As all good
And
partners can. I love it.
exactly. And he's a coach. So he brings out a good can of whoop ass for in honor of people's greatness.
Nice.
He will be like, you are in your limitation, and let me help you get out of that. But I might, push you a little here, right? So I was complaining to him, and he was like, Caitlin, it would be a crime against humanity if you died without letting your music out. Something
Yeah.
to that effect. Like, a crime against humanity if you do not get that music out of you. Like, the world must hear your songs. Like, woman,
Nice.
do it. And I had already been put in touch with a local producer, Jim Pavitt of Illusion Studios here in Tucson, from
Oh.
Alok's, the mother of his child, who we're dear friends with, who's also the photographer for all my album and all my branding and stuff, and my cookbook that I'm creating. She's amazing.
Oh,
Um,
I love that
yeah,
collaboration.
my
That's
photographer at my page,
wonderful.
amazing Jade Twilight Beale, and her sister introduced me because she had recorded. She's a musician too, and she had recorded with this studio, as did their stepdad, who's now passed on. Because Jim's been here in Tucson with the studio for like 30 years. He's worked with like Alicia Keys. He's worked. I was like, my intro track, I was like, I kind of want to like be a little, it's like a little Enya, there's a little Enya in there. He's like, yeah, we lost the Grammys to her one year. I was like, what?
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure which
Wow.
project he was working on.
That's,
So, he's he's legit.
I
And
love how you're like in your flow, and just like the proof for me, the proof is in the pudding, like the way that you're describing this and how it just it just happened. And it
Yeah.
sounds like with your partner saying, hey, it would be a crime against humanity if you didn't get your heart song out there,
Out.
like only yourself holding you back.
Yeah.
And those
And the limitation,
fears.
because he was like, I had tried Ableton, GarageBand, like tinkering
Mhm.
around to learn how to like create my own music, you know. I didn't either, I didn't have the patience, or just it never grabbed me. I don't know how
Yeah.
else to say it. It just wasn't like, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna need help to make these sounds, you know. I'm gonna need, you know, I need, so I came in with, you know, concepts, I came in with lyrics, I came in with melodies, came in with this overarching feeling for each song. We'd bring in our keyboardist Richard Katz, and you know, and we'd play with the different, you know, qualities of sound, and I'd be like, yeah, that, okay, cool, and you know, basically structure these songs. So we did it together. It's, you know, co-written in that regard. um and then bringing in these amazing musicians. Heather Hardy, she's a local violinist. We call her the Jimi Hendrix of the violin. She
Yeah.
rips it up on the song you played, For Eternity. We'll hear it
Yeah.
at the end, right? That's her. I mean, she rips it up on that thing.
Yeah, she does.
I was like, I didn't know you could play violin like that. She's just, you know, like, whoa.
Wow.
Wailing, you know, just
I'm
wailing
goosebumpy.
on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just amazing. So yeah, this amazing cast of musician characters who came in. There's a cellist on the Mermaid song, and just really brought in the best of the best to make this album come together. And I can't even express like, well, I mean, I'll try, like how much this means to me, and what has occurred since releasing it is this deep like completion. And I think this is something I want to share with people, is like, it's scary. It takes effort, time. This took close to 2 years for this project to get to where, you know, ready for release and everything. I had tons of setbacks, major health challenges. I was away from the studio for like 3 or 4 months at one point, because I got COVID and it took me down really bad. You know, I like, it has not been just like some easy smooth. There were days I had to drag my butt into the studio, and I didn't think I could sing because I was just so kind of depleted from all of it. And yet, you know, I brought myself to the table of it, and the experience now of this just like completion, this, I don't, again, it's like hard to, I think I'm still in the middle of the experience, because
I
this
can
is just
feel
so
it when you talk about it. And it's like, you're giving me a lot of encouragement with like we're all multifaceted, of course.
yes,
And there's so many for myself, so many different irons in the fire. And there's
yes,
this feeling like, oh God, I'm running into brick walls here, or you get your sets of challenges here and there. And it's like,
yes,
well, okay, where am I going to pivot? If this isn't going to work, which direction do I pivot? Still keeping that dream in sight. And it's
exactly.
so encouraging to hear you share this. Yeah.
Exactly. And like that, the kind of like, and a lot of my songs really do talk about, they're kind of existential, and they do talk about like, hey, love while you're here, live while you're here. And so that kind of deathbed, you know, crime of humanity, you know, whatever, it's like, we've got to live our dream, like
Yeah.
for our souls, like,
Right.
um, what's the word I'm looking for? It's completion slash fulfillment, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
Like, you know, to fulfill on what we even tell ourselves we want for this
Right.
life. And that's going to be different for everybody, right? Not
Oh,
everybody wants to make an
absolutely.
EP. Like, that's cool. But like, whatever the thing is, to land in it and to commit yourself to it no matter what, setbacks maybe fall you, whatever it takes. Um, it's kind of like, it's like I can live with myself now. Not that I couldn't before, but you
Right.
know what I mean?
I do. Your soul has been able to express itself. And so wherever it's landing now, just that knowledge that it's going to hit where it's going to land where it's supposed to, when it's supposed to.
Integrity. It's integrity with oneself.
Yes.
That's what it
Oh, I
is.
love
It's that
that.
being in integrity with oneself.
I
You
love
know,
that you
and if
use
you're
that word.
going like, I really want this thing, like, okay. what do I need to do? Rather than like, I don't know, because I did that for nearly 20 years. I mean,
Me
I
too.
wasn't completely inactive, but as far as I always knew I wanted to make an EP. I mean, specifically, and if anybody wants to know, people ask, EP is a short album. It's,
Yeah.
4 to 6 tracks versus like 10 to 12 or whatever a typical album is, right?
Thank you
So
for
for whatever
clarifying that.
reason, what's
Yeah.
that?
Thank you for clarifying that
Yeah,
because,
a lot of people have
I
asked.
actually, before our interview, ended up looking that up to be sure that I
Okay,
understood what it
exactly.
meant. So thank you.
And I don't know why. I don't know why it was like an EP, not an album. I just, I
When
don't
you know,
know.
you
We make
know.
it up, right? It was
Yeah.
just like, it felt, I think it probably is because it just felt closer to being doable and less of like, like try this first kind of like
Right. I mean, it doesn't
get
hurt to
work
dip
on
your
four to
toes in the
five
in
songs
the water
rather
a
than,
bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
bite the whole thing off at once.
Do
Granted,
you
now,
feel like this is just the beginning
yeah,
of
well, yeah, I mean, and the reason I go, because it's, it's effort, it's,
big
financial
deal?
commitment, and yes, I have already a bunch of songs listed that are in the wings for a full album, that I also feel like I'll step into differently too.
Oh,
Now
sure.
that I've done this, with more confidence and kind of understanding of how it all works, and a little bit more even of like, I don't know myself. I don't know how to say it. Not that this wasn't my, does that make sense?
I mean, we're
Like,
constantly changing and growing and learning.
yeah,
And this being your debut EP, obviously, so many learning experiences that come along with that. I'm excited to see what the full album looks like with you being able to take in this introduction learning experiences and being able to apply that going
yes,
forward
yes.
because what you have produced and put out is stunning. It's stunning. And I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to see where you continue to learn and grow from here.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you. Really,
so
thank you
much
so
light to
much.
the world. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I feel very blessed and accomplished, and what I set out, and it's like the world is our oyster. Like the only limitations there really are the ones we set for ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you spoke to that earlier about your partner calling you out and like it's your fear holding you back. And I find that for myself uh,
Yeah,
all the time. If anything is holding me back, it is myself. So,
yeah,
uh,
yeah. And my own sense of limitation. It's like, okay, how do you think outside the box of your own limitations? And, how do you think outside of the box of any kind of societal, limitations for that matter, and
absolutely.
there's so many reasons we can come up with why not. But
Yeah.
like, how about we come up with the reasons why and for.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love what you're speaking to. And this, like destiny being in honor of women's soul expression in these times.
Mm-hmm.
No
Mm-hmm.
joke, like no time ever, but that the patriarchy is crumbling. It is time for
Uh-huh.
women to come into our own.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh.
so powerful,
Yes.
so needed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I have a business called The Modern Queen, and I coach women, specifically women who are spiritual healers, relationship coaches, like this kind of thing, to really succeed in their businesses. Because I believe that it is women who hold the world in our hands, like
Absolutely.
ultimately at this point, and
Mhm.
this kind of return of the divine feminine, and how that energy is like literally crucial to shifting the direction our world has been going from that ancient destructive masculine. And these are
Oh, yeah.
generalizations. We all know there's plenty of beautiful men who are in their protector, beautiful, sacred way. There's plenty of men like that. And there's been this patriarchal, whatever the fuck all that is, that's
Yeah.
been downright destructive to our planet and to each other. And we're going like, enough is enough. And
Yeah.
the feminine carries this nurturing, it carries the wisdom of creation, like literally from our wombs. We I just kind of know it, I just know, and I think we do know, that it is time for us to come through our own traumas, lifetimes of it,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Lifetime
Generations.
traumas.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
To eons of oppression and suppression. And I don't like coming from a victim story. However, you have to come to terms, that's part of the
Oh yeah.
healing.
We have to accept
Yeah.
before we can accept that, honor that, heal it,
Yeah.
and rise above it.
Yeah.
Um,
And
absolutely.
move through the fear, right? Move
Yes.
through the fear. I've worked with a lot of women who have fear of visibility. And
Oh, myself
often,
included. I
if you
mean,
believe in past lives, many of us very much felt like we were part of the witch trials
yes.
and, literally burnt at the stake for being in our power or being medicine women or, some,
Mm.
variety like that. Heck, even, being intelligent, being beautiful, being like anything that might be slightly
Yeah.
threatening to a highly religious, dogmatic, situation. And literally women have to work through, it's like I call it the witch wound, the
Mhm.
the pain body of that's still remnant in their souls from those times, and this is including myself, of you know being tortured, being killed for our magnificence,
Yes,
for
that
our
is
voices,
so,
for our wisdom,
yeah.
right? So it takes great courage, and also thank God we're all like privy to this, and we're all like, yeah, that's what we're doing in this lifetime. Hello, we're back.
Yeah.
And we're not, nothing's gonna stop that for us.
No, and it's
We're
so
gonna keep coming back.
important that we have people like you coaching and holding the hand of, because really, like you said, like women coming into our own, coming into our feminine and being able to own that and
Hmm.
without fear of persecution. For whatever it might be, whether it be our witchy magic, our third eye. Like I'm an herbalist, and so I get a
Yeah,
lot of heat from Western medicine
yeah.
believers, if you will.
Oh,
So
especially in these recent years, right? There's
oh
been
yeah. I mean, it's getting
yeah,
better lately,
mhm.
but
Yeah,
well, no, COVID was a setback.
yeah, that's what I mean. It
For
was like
sure.
that was an interesting, anyways,
Right. But we're
all
just
an
learning how
interesting
to,
journey.
like, we're toddlers in this.
Yeah.
Learning how to become and be our
Mhm.
true full selves and that full feminine expression where that has been tampered down for so long. Uh,
Yeah,
and getting that balance. But yeah, it's very much women are coming back. It's like there's
yeah.
to take a little
And
while before it
it's
levels out.
interesting. Oh, sorry, what was that?
It's going to be a little while before it levels out. It's time for the feminine to come in
Yeah,
full force. We
full
need
force.
people guiding us and
Yeah. And
yeah.
it is interesting timing on the planet, with everything we've talked about with COVID, with the kind of far right in our country seeming to want to go backwards in time and put women back in their place and this kind, and then the Roe versus Wade being
Oh,
reversed.
yes.
Like, it's like, whoa, okay, we're kind of still there on a level, but we're very much not. And thank God we live in times where the freedoms, we do have the freedom to keep expressing, and all the more reason why to express and to, you know, do whatever your medicine path is in this world as a woman, as a man too, but as women, it's like our responsibility.
It does seem like this last like these outbursts of like again Roe versus Wade being reversed, all these things we're seeing in our world. It's like I get really passionate and amped up, so I'm going to try and maintain
Yeah,
myself
yeah,
in
no,
this
I
one.
mean, it's okay. Go for it, girl. Completely,
I'm
totally.
like, okay, I'm gonna dial it back. But it
Yeah.
does seem like a caged animal and its last ditch efforts to fight for its life as far as the
Yes.
patriarchy just
Yes.
lashing out.
Yes.
Um, yeah.
Yes. And that's what I
But
mean. It's like, y'all, you didn't figure this out yet.
yeah, yeah, it's
We're gonna come back stronger every time, okay?
yeah, absolutely. Yes, we
And
are.
I gotta say, and I'm just gonna put a plug in with this summer, Barbie, Taylor Swift, like the mainstream,
Mhm.
massive feminine domination man globally. Like to
Mhm.
me, it's like all on cue.
Yeah.
On cue.
Yeah,
I'm
it
really
absolutely
impressed.
is.
Like I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, like this is all good.
It is. It is. And there's
Good.
parts that we could focus our attention on where it looks ugly and messy and not good. But
Right.
then I don't know, I hear music that you've produced and I'm like, no, no, there's hope.
Oh,
It's
thank
all
you. I
good.
can't tell you how much that means. I'm like verklempt because that's it. That's
There's
it.
hope.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And we will overcome.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, like to fall to the dark side, what of fear, and
Mhm.
of everything. And it's not to bypass, because obviously things going on in the world are very serious and very frightening. If war came to my doorstep, like it's going on in Palestine and in other places in the world, and Myanmar and Sudan and Ethiopia, and I mean there are wars raging around the planet, and this is how it goes. It's not to say like we don't bypass that,
Mhm.
but we stay in our truth of knowing there's an alternative, and we be that alternative,
Absolutely.
at all costs. We
Be the
like
change.
be the
Yes.
change.
Be
Be
the
the change.
change. I
I
love it.
held a solstice slash EP release slash cake salon because I'm also a chef. Um, and
Oh,
it was wonderful party here at our home last night. And it was like such a beautiful group of souls. And we gathered in a circle and held hands and just opened the whole journey together with just this this, when we come together in love and we come together in celebration of creation, we come together, just in this case, it was in my honor, but like my honor because it's like, come on, guys, like
everybody.
everybody, we're doing,
Yeah.
come on. And I'll play this role right now gladly, but you, come on, you, and you, and you, because the more each person lights up, and we actually have a different world. And I believe that.
Absolutely. We're reflecting that back to each other. So
Yes.
as you light up, I'm seeing myself light up in you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
because everybody is. And I
Exactly.
think it's
It's like
beautiful.
permission. It's like, here you go. Like, here's permission. And
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna have to be brave, and you're gonna have to get uncomfortable, and you're gonna have to push through some limiting beliefs and
Yeah.
pain and ancestral suffering that's still living in your cells and whatever, right? I mean, there are layers to being a human. It's not gonna be necessarily an easy ride, but it's gonna be the best ride because it's your soul and it's your like highest potential, that you're answering the call of and meeting, and then taking the steps, to what if it's a book you're publishing, or I don't, podcast that you're creating, or a business, there's so many ways that we can express ourselves and really kind of carry the torch at this time for each other. Yeah.
And when you face those fears and you lean into it and yeah, just face those fears, the reward that your
Yes.
soul feels when you come out from the other side and go, oh, hey, that was just my fear holding me back.
Exactly. And it's a
Oh,
fear so tender and sweet. And it's kind of like an inner child, or, like a part of ourselves that yeah, you're like, oh, I hear you. I'm not going to let you run my show,
yeah,
because I'm not going to get very far if I stay, with that. But you love that part of yourself, and you honor it not honor it, but treat it well too,
yeah,
knowing like it's going to be safe. I know we're
yeah,
expanding out of what, has been a comfort zone, and you've been protecting me for a long time, that fear, and for good reasons, probably really good
yes.
reasons in a lot of cases,
Yeah.
but I'm ready, and
Now's the time. Now's the time to not be
now
afraid.
is the time.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And with my clients, I teach to the nervous system. I'm not like a nervous system like specialist or anything, but I think I'm intuitive enough and work with each woman individually, because it's like sometimes it's baby steps.
Mhm.
Sometimes a woman's just ready to just go full force, and like, cool, I'm going to support that. But a lot of the time, based on everything we've spoken, right? These witch wounds and, things from, the past, that they have to work through those layers.
Yeah.
as they become visual, what's the word? Visible, coming online literally, and they start to bring their wisdom and their truth and their leadership and their, you know, light through. And
Yeah.
there's, it's like, okay, here, okay, we'll take you here. And then, I'm always like, okay, but we're gonna like go a little past that. We're gonna stretch you a
Awesome.
little further than that next, that little. And then, it's like learning anything, you want to do it with time and with grace.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love this. And I feel like this is just the beginning because there's so many things for me coming up on a personal level that I'm like, oh, okay, we maybe need to have a session. This
Oh,
is
good.
awesome. Love
Okay, that's
that. We
all.
will put a pin in that and circle back.
Yeah, great, perfect.
Love, love,
Yes, the
love.
handhold, right? It's midwifery. It's like midwifing women through their
Yes.
creative process,
Yes.
and
And we need
ultimately
that.
their success.
You know,
Is the name of the
everybody
game.
needs that guide. You need someone to hold your hand and get you through those tough parts or
Mhm.
those get you over those hurdles.
And someone who has the expertise, right? Who's
Yeah.
done it themselves and kind of knows the ropes. Because not, I'm talking in the business arena in this case, right?
Oh, sure.
A lot of women, they're new. They don't know how to run an online business. They, like there's so many layers to how it works, and the marketing and the launching and the speaking your message, speaking it to the right people, who's your right person, like layers. And so I help each woman establish really kind of who they are in the marketplace, but coming directly from who they are in their soul and what the service they're meant to bring,
Right.
and the energy
Marketing
they're
from a heart-centered place,
very
not
heart-centered.
with this, it's all about the money.
No, but that
That's,
said, I'm all about women's financial solvency and freedom, because I think that is 1,000% what's changing the planet.
oh yeah.
Women are the ones who are more likely to give to charities. They're just more likely to do the give back and the flow and support the planet and support the animals and support the children and support the elderly. And like, it's just in
It's
us.
it. It's flow.
And so it's
It's the
flow. So the
flow of it,
more
not
income
the
that a woman
hoarding.
has, the
Yeah.
more she's able to do good in the world. It's actually simple math. If
Mhm.
you're broke, you can't do much. And it's just flat truth. Um, you're kind of dreaming more when you don't really have financial capacity. Um, people have these really big dreams, and I'm like, guess what? That takes capital. Guess
Mhm.
what? Mother Teresa had funding. Martin Luther King had funding. Like, I know so many people in the spiritual community have an interesting relationship with finances, and with good reasons, because
Mhm.
money is the root of all evil and those kind of beliefs, and how money can circulate in not healthy ways on our planet. Very
Yeah.
true. But guess what? That's why we're the ones who should have it in our hands, because we're the ones who are gonna plant the trees and make things green, and like
Yeah.
carbon neutralize, like all the things. Like, so to me, it's actually the equation goes like this:
Oh
women
yeah, I can
in
see that.
leadership, women's financial solvency, world changes. Boom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
like hearing what you're
And it's
saying.
not a greedy thing. That's the difference.
No.
It's not like I have, I mean, and I'm a full supporter of living a queen life. Modern queen, I'm like, live
Yes.
it, girl. Wear
Yes,
the
as
beautiful
you
clothes.
should.
Like, travel to the glorious destinations. Live in a place you love. Take those baths. Like
Yes.
every day. Take that bubble bath. Put your rose petals in there. Like, live it up. Like,
Oh,
self-care to the max.
you're speaking my language. I love it
All of the
so much.
above. It's like, and take care of yourself, take care of planet, take
Yeah.
care of family, take care,
That's a
family
very
out,
big wound
right?
of mine personally that I'm overcoming is that my example with how money was growing up, it has always been that a very greedy mindset with it
Mm,
behind it that
mm,
made me very afraid of opening my heart to abundance. That's something
ah,
I've been working on a lot this year.
yeah,
and really working through. And it's amazing the things that have changed in my life since I've
Yes.
been able to really focus on letting that flow come through me. And
Yes. Yes. The
I'm
flow. And
like,
that's it.
wow, things
Get out
have
of your own way.
changed.
Get out of your own way, but you got to work through those layers.
Yeah, you
That's,
do.
and that's often what's preventing us and unconsciously until it's made conscious. And then you're like, oh, okay. And then, you cry or you get body work and let it move through you. And, and then realize that like, oh, okay, that's a program,
Yeah.
there's a conditioning there and I don't have to stay, that doesn't have to be my conditioning anymore.
And there's so many different tools that you can use to work through that. For myself, Reiki therapy, yoga
Yep.
is
Yep.
has been like what's
Yep.
really been helping me. But those things just keep expanding and my and growing and
Yes.
um,
Good.
making new
Good. And
connections and more healing coming with that.
yes. More,
Beautiful.
more healing and more abundance, and then more healing and more abundance. And we're
Yes.
talking not the greedy old program way, but the new circulating, global, interconnected, flipping love stream.
Yes. The love stream. Oh my God. I love that. I'm stealing that if you don't mind.
Sure.
I'm actually writing it down. The love stream.
We're riding the love stream. Come on, guys. Hop on.
I love it.
Get in because it's the water's clean.
Yes. The water is clean and we are all flowing. Heck
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just noticing, and I don't know why it took me this long to notice, but we're both wearing our blue shinies today. It
Oh,
felt
you
very
got the blue. Oh,
solstice-y.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gold or silver. I like it. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it is solstice, and blue is my favorite color.
Me
Um,
too.
I
All
feel like
right.
it's the color of my soul. Um, yeah, so I wanted to wear it today. I wore it last night too for the party. I wore this beautiful sparkling blue gown. It was really fun with a star crown and went all full
Love.
celestial. It was so fun.
I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
the photo of you in the blue. I don't know if it's the same dress you're wearing now, maybe, or
No,
it's
no,
different. I
this
think that
is,
was sweet sequined or
yeah, but you're right. They both have the shoulder pads. They're both
oh,
blue.
okay.
They've got major shoulder pads, deep V. This one's more like, I don't know what, it's like chiffon-y,
Yeah.
kind of shiny. That one's full on sequins. Yeah.
Goddessy,
Yeah.
flowy.
Yeah. I love it. You just got to do it up, man. I'm all for it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah. And the
amazing
women who
what
showed up last night, they were all, because I said, come in your holiday finest, and sparkles are very welcome. Red sparkles, silver sparkles, gold sparkles. Like everyone who walked in, I was just like, y'all are gorgeous.
yes.
We've got that on our side too. Yes.
Heck yes.
Women get to we just get to be fabulous.
We did our solstice ceremony last night, my partner and I, and it was
Yes.
just the two of us. I did it in a onesie hoodie with ears,
Oh,
onesie jammies with ears. I went a different direction,
oh, cute.
but
I
it was
love
so
it.
cozy.
No, that's so perfect. That is so perfect. That's my another favorite. The
A
onesie.
cozy cacao ceremony in
Yes.
our living
Yes.
room. It was
Oh,
lovely.
that's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
so lovely. I like want to do that now another time.
It was lovely. Well, I guess when you speak of the sparklies and everything, I'm thinking, ooh, I want to do that next time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have your ladies over, like you're part of women's circles. Like it's, oh man, because I hosted a retreat here in Tucson back in October called Persephone's Garden.
Ooh.
It was all for the divine feminine and the going into the depth of the season, as it goes
Wow.
darker. And I did a cake salon then too, with my cakes, and we did yoga and we did sound healing, and more than yoga, we did dance. Mixed my friend Tinley. She's an amazing dance instructor. She brings the Shakti. We did a painting workshop. It was like a whole beautiful thing. And for the cake salon, we also called it a Queen's Council.
Ooh.
And we
Okay.
sat in a circle, and I was like, everyone wear gowns. We asked everyone to wear gowns. And then it was just, it elevates the energy. It
You
elevates it.
feel good
And
when you
you
are
feel good, and it's not to
looking good.
be what's the word? What's the word? Superficial.
Yeah. No.
It's not superficial.
No. But when you put
It,
on your finest clothing that makes you feel good, you
yes,
radiate that from the
shine.
inside out.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
it's different
wear
now.
the onesies, wear the PJs. Sure, your like sweatshirt days are fabulous, like all of the above, right?
Whatever makes you feel good.
Whatever makes you feel bad. But gatherings, it's like, oh, I think I've set a standard at my house, like, wear your finest, man, because it just, it's, yeah, it just makes things that much more kind of elevated
I
and
bet it is
gorgeous.
epic.
Yes.
And I'm curious, do you have any other workshops or retreats coming up in the future for
So
2024?
Persephone's Garden, we'll do one again next fall. Here in
Ooh,
Tucson. That's the plan. Yeah, I will keep you posted. And she's like,
please
right
do.
now.
I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
God, I
yeah.
might need to be there. I think I might.
Yes. Oh, please. Oh my God. Girl, like, and
Yeah.
with all things, like I think it'll be even better. Oh, I forgot, I left out. We did a full-on Persian feast, vegan, plant-based Persian
Oh,
feast with my friend Tenley doing a Persian dance for everyone
oh,
in a desert garden, Jade's backyard desert garden. Like it was stupendous. It was it was really it was and it just it all the women, you could just feel everyone like soaking it in, like plants soak in, like a dry desert like today soaks in the rain, just like we are so hungry for that level of connection and so hungry for each other, and this ancient wisdom that we all carry.
yeah.
And I love when men gather too. It's different, obviously very different, but there's something, we're answering the call of the soul when we gather like that, like the
Absolutely.
red tent, like these,
Yeah,
what is natural and like needed. It's like we literally get watered, nurtured so deeply by these experiences. So yeah, Persephone's Garden is very much that. And then I will be launching my next Modern Queen program in the spring.
ooh.
Yeah, for budding entrepreneurs. And I'm very excited about that. It'll be a 6 to 8 month program. I haven't actually decided which one it's going to be yet.
Ooh.
And there may or may not be some retreats within that. I'm still
Okay.
in dreaming mode of the exact like structure of the whole program. But that's next. I'm like, oh my God, album. And then I'm working on my cookbook. And so there'll be great stuff coming in the future with that too.
Multifaceted. So many
Yeah.
wonderful things. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
writing down so many notes. I'm like, oh, oh,
Oh, I love
yes.
it.
All the
Yeah.
feels, all the tingles.
Oh, good, good, good,
I love when you
good.
talk about how people come together and retreat. And it's like when we are like, as human beings, we are all craving this soul connection on a level
Right.
that I don't know on a collective that we've been feeling this before. And
Mm,
I mean, humanity is clearly evolving beyond the animalistic ways that we have been
mhm.
maneuvering these
Yes.
bodies,
Yes.
So when people come together and they gather in like a setting of a retreat where we are all here to do the soul work,
Yes.
the connection that comes from that when
Yes.
everyone is present with that same intent,
Yes.
oh, it is
Yes.
powerful.
Oh,
Um,
it's so powerful. And it travels, lifetimes, but like, it ripples out
I was
in
just going
so
to say
many
the ripple
places.
word. Yes.
Ripple,
Yes.
flowing ripples. And I
Yes.
think too, for one, COVID and everyone literally being separated from each other, I think had us like miss each other deeply. Like, whoa, remember how weird it was to like gather the
Yeah.
first gathering after? Like, it was like the
We
most natural
okay? Do
in the
we hug?
world,
Do
but
we
we had to kind
not?
of like readjust. And then I think with the advent of so much technology, AI, I think it's this whole other level of that craving and of that need for real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for the real.
Yeah. It gives me
Yeah.
faith. It gives
Yeah.
me hope whenever
Oh,
I have
good.
an experience like that, the ripple effect that it has in my life. I can't say I've even seen an end to the ripples. You know what I
Right.
mean? They just keep going, but
You got it.
it is
I love that.
It's a soul
Can't see an end to
recharge.
the ripples.
Yeah, there's no end. It just
Yes.
keeps going. Yeah.
Mhm. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And again, the more of us who are creating ripples,
The better the
ripple
world gets.
touches. It keeps touching
Yeah.
millions, billions. Brrr, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just shining that light out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah.
I am really excited for what you have going on for 2024.
Whew.
Super excited about this release. Uh,
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you. Yeah.
highly encourage
It
everyone to
means
check it
so much.
out.
What's that?
That I highly encourage everyone to check it out.
Yes.
And I will be including links to Destiny on every platform where you're getting this podcast. I will have a link to it.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I do have the 2 music videos I think we mentioned on YouTube as well. And if
Beautiful
there's any
music videos.
entrepreneurs, you're welcome to check out my website, CaitlinNaramore.com. I don't know if you'll share those too, but
I will
yeah.
absolutely do that.
Okay. And then yeah, the cookbook will be coming out hopefully 2024. I've never made a cookbook before. So the first stage has been I've been hosting these cake salons, and I came up with the concept because I was like, I was sort of resistant to having to practice all the recipes because I just
Oh,
like to just create.
yeah.
But I've saved the recipes I've made throughout the years. And because I have such a passion for sweets, but granted, it's all gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free. They're healthy desserts.
Wow.
Yeah, like gourmet, magical. I put essences in them, essences of gems. I put essence like flowers. Yeah,
Oh
they're
my
like
God.
exactly. They're not just like you're like whatever cake. Like they're a
Oh, I'm
whole
giddy.
world. Yeah.
Yes.
And so I want the world to have that because I know people more and more are having issues with gluten that has all the
Mhm.
glyphosates and the sugars that make us crazy as far as I can tell, and
Yeah.
like, don't do good in our bodies. So I've come up with all these recipes because didn't do well in my body. And I really love sweets. But I would wait, what was I gonna say? Something. Oh, so the cake salon. So I was like, okay, I can practice these recipes and then serve people
Yeah.
and make a party of it, make an experience of it. And and then I have Jade come prior to that day, do a photo shoot of all the desserts, and then the people come and I, serve these beautiful cakes. So it's just been I've been in the creation process of making the cookbook, and then fine-tuning the recipes. And then I'll actually put the book together once I get all the specs, these elements and specs in order. Yeah.
Wow. It sounds like it's coming together. Like I can just see the flow. It's
Yeah.
flowing. It's
It's
gonna
flowing.
happen like
It is
soon.
flowing. Yeah. Oh yeah.
How exciting. Oh,
Yeah.
man. So many beautiful things you are sharing with the world that you had to
Thank,
have to offer the world.
thank you. Thank
Wow.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I just work here.
You're doing excellent work. You deserve praise.
Thank you.
What is, I guess, if your cookbook's still in the works, do you have any names for it or
It's
probably
called
a little
Cake,
too soon?
Her Love Language.
It's called Cake, Her Love Language?
Cake, Her Love Language.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
yay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm going to be talking about all of this stuff and mentioning it in the description.
Thank
So,
you. Yeah.
yeah, giving people links to find you, check
Yes.
you out, and all the
Perfect.
amazing things you're doing.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And like, oh, I have there's some, it's like it's so fun, being a creator. We just dream, and I again like once you kind of step out of limitation, you're like, wow, what can I keep dreaming? What do I dream next?
Yeah.
For this amazing life journey, this beautiful life we've been given. Like, how can I create my personal heaven on earth, and
That's what it is.
what's
That's
that?
exactly what we're doing,
Yeah.
creating our own personal heaven
Yep.
right here. Because
Right
this
here.
whole idea of heaven, hell, it is exactly what we create for ourselves right here
Hmm.
and now. That's it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm. It's in us.
absolutely.
Ooh, the hell is there too. Trust me, you got your days, you're like, woo. But being
Yeah.
human is never been for the faint of heart, I don't think.
No. Yeah, and we like I'm not sure, whatever anyone chooses to believe, but I truly believe that we signed up for this. Our soul
Yeah.
signed up for this,
Yes,
understood the assignment before we were birthed onto this
million
system.
percent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we come.
Yeah.
Here we come, planet Earth. Like, we're coming in strong.
Yes, we are.
We're
And
not
I
gonna
love what
fail
you were
ourselves or each
saying.
other now.
Yeah. Level up, level up. Let's flow. Yes.
Come on. So stabilize love on the planet, right?
Yes.
Stabilize the higher frequencies. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I love what you were saying before too. It's like just stepping out of that box. For myself last night in our ceremony for the solstice,
Mm-hmm.
what kept coming up for me is don't be afraid to believe the impossible for myself.
Yes.
Everything's
That's
possible.
it.
Yeah.
That's that's it.
Yep. So that's how I'm approaching the new year.
That is it.
Everything's possible.
Back in my sailing days, somewhere along my path, and I don't remember whose quote it was or like where I found it, but I never forgot it because I remember it struck me so much, is exhaust the limits of the possible. Exhaust isn't my favorite word. And believe me, there's times I'm like, whoa, I'm really exhausted. Stretching those limits.
That sounds like an Alan Watts quote. It
It's
could
something
be.
like, right? Something like
Yeah.
that. But I remember at the time, and that was at the time I was beginning to dream of music. It was like exhaust the limits of the possible. Like, go, go. Like, there is no limit except for the limit that you say there is.
Absolutely.
So what
Yeah.
if you say there isn't one? And then how do you take that next step towards what is limitless in your life? Oh, and P.S. Speaking of limitless, my partner, he wrote one book called Maximum Impact Potential, and then spearheaded a second book that's me and like 26 other people in our world, who we each wrote a chapter for the book, and it's called Limitless. So that happened this year too, and we actually got to #1 best-selling on Wall Street Journal.
I was gonna say
So
I've seen that book.
yeah, it's called Limitless. Mm-hmm. And it's stories of all these incredible souls who are just astounding humans that we have the grace of knowing, who went through massive things in their lives, abuse, injury, illness, like all kinds of things, and talk about it, and then how their lives then became limitless out of the greatest adversity in their lives. And we got
Wow.
#1 Wall Street Journal. So I'm a
Wow.
Wall Street Journal best-selling co-author as of 2023. It's been a
Wow.
big year, man.
That's huge.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is huge.
yeah. So there's that.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. And I mean, just more so, again, like, get the book, because
Oh
it's
yeah.
inspiring. The stories are, I mean, I'm crying in some of them. You're just like, what? And knowing the people as I know them now, you're like, whoa, they went through that. Wow. And look at who they are now. And
Wow.
again, and then okay, I think this is a good point for us to start wrapping up. It's a decision.
Yeah.
You make the decision to change, to come out of bad habits,
Yeah.
quit drinking, quit smoking, get on the treadmill, like, go after your vision. And usually those things all go together too. P.S.
Mm.
Like, when we embrace our health and our well-being, we are in better shape and less clouded, you know, to actually do cool shit.
Yeah.
Unhindered,
Absolutely.
right?
All these things we do to ourselves to hold ourselves back. And yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a recovering alcoholic. So
Okay.
yeah, I very much
So
understand that situation. I
right.
think
We talked about this, and this is part of
yeah,
the thing, is the sober. Yeah, because I'm
yeah,
almost 5 years sober too.
right
Mhm.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
January 11th will be 3.5 years for me.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Pretty
it's
cool.
it is a it and especially if there's alcoholism. I was like a teetotaler by the time I
Oh yeah, you'd said.
but I just I was like I drank like 5 drinks in one week on a trip to see my family in California. I felt poisoned.
Yeah.
I felt poisoned. Like I was like, whoa. And they talk about like spirits.
Hmm.
It tastes ugh. It just and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. It took, kind of going back because I drank a lot when I was in my early 20s. Like I drank like
Mhm.
a lot. And it was okay, I guess, back then. But like, yeah, through the years, it dwindled down, dwindled down. And then that week, it was just like, yeah, no, this isn't working, even a little, and that was what it took for me.
Wow.
No
Mine was a
shaming
dream.
anybody, but
Mine was a dream, and my guides
mm,
came through in a dream and said, "We are
mm,
trying to talk to you, but you are
mm,
fogging this with
uh-huh.
alcohol. You need to
Yeah.
stop so we can have this
Yes.
conversation." And
Yes.
since then, just keeps getting better.
Right.
Um,
And that's just it. So anyone listening, highly encourage dropping
yeah.
vices, whatever those
Yeah.
may be. Now our phone vices, that's the
Oh God, that's the next. When I was meditating with my tree one afternoon and it was
Mhm,
very clear that my guides came through and said, you need to get on TikTok. I was like, technology has been a big struggle for
mhm,
me. And
mhm.
so just being here now and doing this podcast is a
Yeah,
result of listening to my guides and leaning
yeah,
into my fear of technology.
yeah. Well, and it's how we
Yay.
get our voices out there. So it's all about balance, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we're all like a little, like
Well, and
trigger happy with our phones.
yeah, but there's a definite difference I can tell from where the way I used to treat my phone and
Mhm,
the like it stands to reason what you're focused on is what is going to come through even on your
exactly.
phone. So when I used to be focused on a lot of negative, that's all I really saw.
So
Nowadays,
smart.
all I see is like plant medicine and the meditation stuff and
Yeah.
women's empowerment.
Yes.
I've been able to cater my feed
You
to my heart.
retuned the channel.
Yeah, I'm tuned
Exactly.
into a different channel now on social media,
Exactly.
which
And
is
that's
great.
it. That's all we got to do is just tune it. Tune it to a higher frequency, man.
Exactly, because we are all
Mhm,
just really vibrating at these frequencies. And
mhm.
wherever we are choosing or not choosing, but wherever we're vibrating is exactly what's going to come back to us, whether that be through social media or
Yeah.
TV or just the
Yep.
world.
Yep.
So,
And
yeah,
interacting with our devices through our purpose. Hello.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
absolutely why it's such a profound tool. It is a profound tool and being more
Absolutely.
of a creator than a consumer.
Yes. I believe
Mhm.
I used to look at my phone and I would end up just in immediate comparison mode.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
yeah, now it's
Yeah.
like,
Now you're
here's
like,
my
no, I'm doing
mission.
my thing.
I'm going to spread some love and light, and then I'm
Yeah.
going to set this down and walk away.
Yeah. There it is. There it
Yeah,
is. So it's finding balance with everything. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yay.
Caitlin, this has been such a delight and a pleasure, an
Truly.
honor. Thank
Truly.
you.
Oh, well, you're welcome. And thank you. Like, I hope this goes to where it's supposed to
All
go.
good things. It
All the
absolutely
good things.
will.
Yes.
Yeah, I know it
Yeah.
will. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. And again, truly an honor to have my first Zoom interview. So, uh,
Okay.
thank you.
Cool. Okay. Wait, did you say that? I didn't realize it was your first. Okay.
I've had interviews, but it's just been in person. So this is my first like using Zoom on my new MacBook and my new equipment,
Amazing.
leveling up.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Shining your light and you shining your light, helping others to shine their light.
That's the purpose. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Oh,
it.
freaking
Amazing.
beautiful.
Jennifer, you're awesome. Such a
Right back
joy.
at you, Caitlin. Thank you. And I am so excited to see all of these projects that you've got going on. Like, I know that Destiny is just the beginning of what we're going to see from you. And I'm really excited to see the rest
Thank
and
you. Thank you. Yeah.
continue listening to Destiny. I cannot recommend this enough. And I am going to close this out with For Eternity, the full song. It is so freaking beautiful. But I've added these to my morning affirmations playlist, and it's
Mm,
all the
I
feels,
love
all the
that.
vibes.
I love that. There's some ladies in my world that's what they do. They listen to it every day as their affirmation music, which I'm like, whoa, cool.
Yeah.
And real quick, For Eternity came out of COVID.
Oh,
Like I said, I got hit real hard with it. My sister came to visit. She saw me struggling. She said, Caitlin, sing.
oh,
And I was down in my living room. We have a big spacious space. And I just so I channel sometimes like tongue, speaking tongues, whatever, light language,
light
whatever you
language.
call it.
I,
What's
I
that?
get a sense of light language from you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
could feel it. I could hear it. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what came through, just, and sure enough, because it was like I was in a battle with some dark spirits during that journey, and my soul was like, my partner happened to record it that
Oh,
moment. And I listened to it and I was like, whoa, that's like a song. Or like I could develop that into a song. And I took it to my producer and, not a great recording, echoey, like muffled, whatever. But I was like, what do you think? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, I hear kind of Middle Eastern. And I was like, oh, yeah, totally. And so then, so the beginning is not exactly what I sang at the beginning when you hear, because I'm not singing English at first, but it's a derivative of that moment and of singing this kind of light language. I also call it my Egyptian revival track because I've always felt very Egyptian in my soul too.
that's why I got the tingles. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Oh
was
yeah.
feeling it in my cells.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, stop everything.
Okay. Stop the press.
I was
Because
doing
it comes
dishes and I
down
had
to,
to stop and just like feel the song.
well,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the little background. And then it's a very spiritual song, it's all about the light and God and eternity and returning to the light, because that was what my journey out of COVID was. I was like, you darkness ain't taking me down. Like that's not how we're doing this, That's not how I'm not going out on your train,
No.
even though you're making it seem like I am. Like, no, like, like I'm with God. Thank you.
You are a warrior
Thank you very
goddess.
much. So
Wow.
there's the little story behind that. And now we
Thank
can,
you.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah. The behind the music. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it so much. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I suppose on that note,
Without further
I can
ado.
take us out with this beautiful song For Eternity. Again, I'd like to remind everyone that these links are all going to be in the description wherever you're getting your podcast. So I will make it as easy as possible for you to click and check out all about Caitlin and
Okay.
check out her new EP, Destiny. Uh, beautiful stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Truly.
you.
Thank you.
With that, yeah, let's play For Eternity.
Yeah. Return to the ocean. Return.